Welcome to Thrive Radio. I'm your host, Amy Montgomery, entrepreneur and digital marketing agency owner. Today, my guest is Elizabethjshafer. She's a mindset life coach who is passionate about helping busy women discover the formula to achieve peace of mind and renew confidence through fresh insights and life-changing strategies. Elizabeth, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's fun to be here.
Yeah. So can you share a little bit of your journey in becoming a mindset coach?
Of course. So it's funny because I feel like my journey started before I even knew what a life coach was or even what life was. I've always been someone who people have come to, even in high school, for advice or just to come alongside. I've been told my whole life, you're such an encourager. Where you go, you just bring life. And even my husband has always called me life giver. And I had several friends actually come out and say, as adults, where I'm like walking through tough marriages or walking through life changes, and they'll say, you need to be a life coach. And I'll be like, that's not paid. I don't even think that's a thing. So finally, after having babies at home, which felt like for 500 years, I was like, okay, so what's next? My chapter, my kids, I have no one at home. And I was like, now's the time. So I looked into becoming a life coach, got certified, because I just want to keep doing what I feel like comes naturally to me, but also be certified and have some education behind it.
What do you think is the key to finding peace and fulfillment?
Being aware and present. The life throws so many curveballs, and like just one real recent one for me is I was one of the millions that got COVID over New Year's. And I remember just laying in bed being like, what does it look like to be present right now? Like I have body aches and I have a fever, and it's like, what is it? And it's like, I am so thankful I can breathe, that I'm not on a ventilator, that my life isn't in danger. And for me, that grounded, and I was overwhelmed with peace in the midst of fighting an illness. So it's being aware and it's being present. And when you can do that, you can only feel peace when you're present. When you're feeling frustrated or discouraged, a lot of times you're looking to the future, anxious. And when you're feeling disappointment or regret, you're looking to the past. But when you're present and you're sitting and aware, the only thing you can feel is peace. So definitely peace and awareness.
Yeah, that's so true. Whenever you freak out, you go right into your mind, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What does mindfulness mean to you, and what are the benefits?
Mindfulness to me is intentional living. It's the undeniable peace no matter what circumstance you're going through. It's the being aware, like I just talked about. It's literally intentional living. Every morning when I wake up, I write in my journal that I'm an intentional pursuer of God and I exist to love myself and all others recklessly. And for me, that's the intentional pursuit. I think the benefits are that I have peace, that I can't be rocked. I mean, I'm a foster mom. I have dealt with, if people knew like all the things going on in my life, they would be like, okay, what? Because the people who do know me are like, I don't know how you do it. But for me, it's that my mindset has been shifted and I just am fully intentional with my living to where I'm not going to let the negativity win. Life is too short. It is what it is. And the best is yet to come.
Yeah. So how do you help women trust themselves and create deeper confidence?
This is what I love doing. So my business, I named it Tandem Life Coach, because like tandem bikes, you steer, I'll help you pedal and help you get to where you want to go. My whole goal is for you to discover that you are the hero in your story, that I'm just here to ask the questions, come alongside you and help you discover who you are already. You have access to power. You have access to unlimited amounts of love and peace and strength. And you as yourself are the hero in your story. And my joy is just to come alongside you and for you to discover that. And then naturally confidence flows and then it goes into every area of your life.
I love that. So how do you find peace in crazy surroundings? You already kind of mentioned this. If there's somebody out there that is really struggling right now, even with like everything that's going on just with the pandemic and everything, what piece of advice would you give them?
Ground yourself. I'll give you an example with, like I said, we have been foster parents and we picked up a little girl from the hospital, newborn baby girl. We're told that you're going to be adopting her. This is the mom's, like she said, several kids. There's no way it's not an adoption. And then when the baby was about a year, we got a letter in the mail that said she's going to be reunified with her mom. We had changed her name. I mean, this was like a year into it, but it still was a process. So when we said goodbye to this little girl, like her first overnight, I dropped her off at a homeless shelter, and she was a year and a half. And I just remember going through that. Like I could go to the what ifs, or how are they going to know, how's she going to know what cry she's needing, or how's she going to know what she needs, like all the anxiety you would think you would feel. And I went, no, today she's in my care. Today I'm her mom who's responsible for her, and I'm going to love her as though she's with me forever, because that's what she deserves. So it's gaining perspective. It's realizing that there's always good, there's always something to be thankful for. I've got, like I said, tons of different variables in my life. And I've never felt more peace in my entire life, because I'm like, okay, wait, what are my feelings? Our feelings are indicators of thoughts we're having. So, okay, well, let me see what these thoughts are, because thoughts are just sentences, and then they become our beliefs, but these thoughts have no power to them. So I need to acknowledge what these thoughts are, determine if it's truth, and then move on from that. So it's like I said before, intentional living, gaining that perspective, but you have to stop and become aware and present so that you can really investigate what's going on and what your body's telling you.
Yeah, I love that. I heard that quote of the more uncertainty that you're able to live with and be happy in, the happier you're going to be in life. And I think that kind of
Right.
goes along with what you're saying.
Right. You
Definitely.
can't wait for happiness to happen. You have to be happy no matter what.
Yeah.
Like create the life you want. Where you focus is your reality every time.
Yeah. So what are some of your client success stories?
My youngest client is 9 years old. And then my oldest client in their 60s. And I just have to tell you, I've seen debt paid off. I've seen weight loss. I've seen kids dealing with their anxiety, processing like school projects. Or I have this little 9-year-old client who, when I started meeting with her, she couldn't stand playing her violin, and now she loves it because she changed her mindset. I've seen all these, I mean, life change across the board. But I have to say, the one that stopped me in my tracks is a mother in her 40s who I actually met through Instagram, and we did 16 weeks together, and it was the 16th week. And so I always do a recap, like, this is what you said, but when we first started meeting, how would you say you're doing now? So I was doing that. And in the middle of it, she kind of got emotional, and I'm like, what is happening? And she's like, Elizabeth, I have to be honest with you. When I signed up for this, because I do a scale of 1 to 10. So her emotional health, she had said it was a 2. And she goes, I have to be honest, it was a 0. And I had actually written suicide letters to everyone in my family. And this
Wow.
was like my last ditch effort. And I was like, wait, what? And I'm like holding back, like, hold yourself together,
Yeah.
like, be professional. And I just want to start sobbing, because I'm looking at this woman of, I think, 7 kids, and in her 40s, that was just done with life. And she said, I'm ready to throw away my suicide letters. Like, I know why I'm here. I know I'm a good mom. And she just started speaking life over herself. And I was like, this is what it's about. This is the life change. This is why I exist, is for people to look in the mirror and know how freaking amazing they are. And I would say that's probably very much top of my list.
What do you think has been your truth that has gotten you this far in your journey?
The best is yet to come. For me, I just look at whatever's in front of us. If we can embrace the process and stay present, good is coming. And the idea that you just don't grow weary in doing good, don't grow weary in doing the necessary, but the harvest is coming. And yeah, it is what it is. When stuff happens, it's like, can I control it? I'm choosing peace or choosing to be right. I'm choosing peace every time. It is what it is, and the best is yet to come.
That's good.
For sure.
One last question. If you're able to give yourself one piece of advice when you first started out, what would it be?
This one, it's like so interesting. So I'm an all or nothing. And so I hit the ground running. Like, I get an idea in my head and I just go. But that means I'm also really impatient. So I would tell myself, enjoy the process. Like, don't just be present, but enjoy it, and be patient. Like, you need to grow the people, grow relationships. It's gonna come, but be patient with yourself and be patient with the process.
I like that.
For sure.
So if there are people that are listening that would love to get a hold of you to work with you, what's the best way to contact you?
Probably, I would say my Instagram, just because I have a link tree link right there in my profile. So you can get that at my name, Elizabethjshafer. That would be my Insta. I have a LinkedIn, and then tandemlifecoach.com is my website. So any of those would work. But my life is on Instagram. Like every day you log on, you're going to see what's going on in my world, and it might bore you, or you might be, did you really just put that on the World Wide Web?
So
Yeah, totally.
perfect. I'll put all those links down below. And thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your expertise.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And if you're listening, you want more information about this podcast or upcoming shows, you can visit acalltothrive.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week.